Magic 98.3. Thanks for checking out On the Verge. It's Debbie talking with Will Carpenter, the guitarist and vocalist for the band Ships Have Sailed. Hey, Will, thank you so much for coming in today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm really glad the timing worked out.
It did. And you know what's so funny? Usually I do a phone interview with the artist, and I always say, hey, if you're going to be in the area doing a show or anything, come by the studio. We'll film you for the YouTube channel, have you do an acoustic song. This kind of just happened where you're here and we're doing it live, which is very, very cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. I think we just connected on Twitter a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it just happens to be around the Thanksgiving holiday, and I'm just in town visiting some family. So
we actually found
timing.
out that Will's wife's family is from my town in Old Bridge. So very cool that I've got neighbors that I didn't even know before.
It is a small world, isn't it?
Hey, Will, tell me a little bit about your band. I know you're from L.A., and that you've released an EP in 2014 called Someday. How's it been going? I know you've got some new music out. I know you were at South by Southwest, but give me a little bit of formation.
Yeah, so honestly, the first EP, it started as just a collection of songs that wasn't really right for the project that Dan and I were currently working with, which was a rock hip-hop project, so very, very specific genre-wise. But I didn't really want to pitch them to other artists. I really wanted to sing them myself. So I started on some basic pre-production in my home studio, and Dan was one of the first people I had over to listen to it, and his reaction literally was just like, all right, so what are we going to call it? And so that's how the project was born. The EP was kind of a soft launch to just see how the interwebs reacted to the songs. The reaction was really good, and so we kind of went about starting to put together a live show, starting to play some shows. And then our second album kind of just started writing itself. It wrote itself from kind of the back to the front, interestingly enough. And so we spent a year, about a little bit over a year, working on that, continuing to play out. We did a little East Coast tour and started trying to dip our toes in the festival circuit, as you were mentioning. We did South by Southwest, Canadian Music Week, and just recently CMJ in New York.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then, so the record was released in March, and it's been getting good reactions, and we'll see where it goes from there. It's
and
been a really good.
One of the songs, Midnight or Moonlight, was featured in a movie, right?
Yeah. So Midnight was actually just placed in the Russell Brand documentary, which is actually it's a really compelling film. It's a really cool subject matter. He's a very interesting guy. And so you can imagine the documentary is incredibly exciting and just certain parts thrown from left field and very funny as well. So I'd encourage people to check it out. But it was really exciting. Not something you kind of expect when you're just starting out as an artist, but very, very nice surprise.
And you and I connected on Twitter, so obviously social media is a big thing, especially for up-and-coming bands. How do you find dealing with people on Twitter and on Facebook and stuff? You get like an instantaneous reaction when you release something.
It kind of depends on the person.
Okay.
And on the timing. Initially when you're first starting out and building a following, people are really skeptical. Now, once we're into the kind of tens of thousands of followers, people tend to almost give us the benefit of the doubt a little bit more, but then you always run into people who are, a little bit more dismissive. I think it depends on the person, really.
Okay.
But overall, people have been really excited about the music, and so we're really thankful for that.
And I told you before we started recording that when I was listening to the music and played it for a couple of people around here, we kind of put it in the same, and I hate to like categorize things, but I just found that your voice was almost like on par with Danny from the script. And I just think that the song that I was playing for people is fantastic, and I know you're going to do one for me today.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for that. And I'll say this again: I'm an untrained singer, and Danny has a ridiculous voice, so that's just a really nice compliment. So thank you. Yeah, it's always hard to categorize art, but I feel like it needs to be done in order to kind of describe. The only reason why
I try to do it is because this way, when I tell my listeners, hey, if you like so-and-so, if you like the Fray or if you like the script, I think you're going to like these guys. So it kind of just maybe gives them a little bit of like an inclination to say, hey, all right, let me listen to this,
Absolutely. And I think in that way it's necessary. The way I've been doing it lately is I've been saying it's kind of as though new Coldplay had a musical baby with the National.
I kind of like that.
You know what I mean? Because new Coldplay is like kind of bouncy and happy,
Yes.
more upbeat than older Coldplay, but then the National is really mellow and just very kind of, a little bit darker and moody. And I feel like our lyrics tend to be very moody, but we try to balance it out with kind of an uplifting musical element. So
if they cross-pollinated, this would be the flower that comes from it.
Or at least one of them, maybe.
So what song are you going to do for us?
I'm going to play actually the first single that we broke off of Moodswings, which is called If Only.
All right, cool.
Open my eyes at 7 a.m. There's a note laying on your side of the bed. Was it something I did, something I said? Was I using my heart in spite of my head? Ooh, ooh, ooh. The shades are down to keep out the sun. I'm playing the songs that we used to love. I fit my life in a paper cup. I got an empty glass, I wanna fill it up with you. But the world's passing by and I'm stuck inside, and I just want the chance to change your mind. If only I could feel your heart beat close to mine. If only I could touch your body one more time. Spend another night with you. If only I could make you take back your goodbye. I saw you last night, you went out with your friend. I couldn't believe it was holding your hand. I turn away because I gotta pretend that I might just win you back again. Ooh, ooh, ooh. But the world's passing by and I'm stuck inside, and I just want the chance to change your mind. If only I could feel your heart beat close to mine. If only I could touch your body one more time. Spend another night with you. If only I could make you take back your goodbye. Ooh. Oh, oh, But the world's passing by and I'm stuck inside, and I just want the chance to change your mind. If only I could feel your heart beat close to mine. If only I could touch your body one more time. Spend another night with you. Oh, if only I could make you take back your goodbye. If only I could make you take back your goodbye.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I'm telling you right now, you're giving Danny a run for his money. Okay?
Thank you
Just
so much.
so you know, Will Carpenter from the band Ships Have Sailed. Listen, I know this was kind of like a little impromptu thing, but next time you're touring the East Coast, you're coming back. You're bringing your bass player, Dan, and we're going to be here together.
We wouldn't miss it. He's
Okay.
quite a character. You're going to love him.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks so much for having me. If only I could feel your heart